Hello, this is a video walkthrough of the X280 Xcode setup guide. Please note that this video is not recorded by X280 staff. It's recorded by me and X281 staff, so please do not ask X280 staff members for support with this video. With that being said, let's get started. As noted, Xcode only runs on macOS, so if you're not a macOS user, please use a different IDE. Now we will go ahead and install the command line tools as listed here. I'm going to open the terminal using Launchpad. Then I'm going to run the command as listed here. Okay, then click install. If it doesn't pop up, you can go in the dock here and click install command line developer tools. Then I've already read this agreement. Make sure you read it before proceeding. Then click agree if you agree. Then wait. This estimate usually has a long time, but it will slowly shift down towards the actual time. All right, now that it's installed, we can proceed. I type G++ -- version like listed here. On macOS, it's Apple Cling, so it doesn't matter for this class, but just an important note. Then we're going to install the Homebrew package manager. This will let us install a bunch of different cool tools that we'll use. So I'll just double click this, copy it, and enter it here. Another common mistake is I left in this $sign at the beginning. That's just indicating that this is a command line command. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Press Control A to go to the beginning of the line, then arrow keys to move around, and then delete key to delete the $sign. Okay, I'm going to type in my user password. This is the same password you used to log in. Then I'm going to hit enter. Okay, now I'm going to add it to my path as listed here. This time I'm not going to double click so I don't accidentally copy the $sign. Now I'm going to close and reopen the terminal as listed. Then I'm going to type the command to check my version. Cool. Now I'm going to install the recommended CLI tools. I'm just going to type this one out because it's not that long. Then I'm going to go to my home directory. Then I'm going to make a folder. In this case, I'm going to do X281 because this is for X281. It's been created, as you can see. This is an important note here. You don't really want to use spaces in your paths because it can cause trouble with different tools. This is something I've personally experienced a lot. It's very good to keep your stuff without spaces. Now, for the rest of these things, these are all troubleshooting or how to use the command line. If you're interested in that, that's out of the scope of this video, but you can go and explore that on this page. Right, now that I've installed the command line tools, I'm going to go back and then install Xcode. So the guide recommends doing it in the App Store. You can do that here. Basically, you just click get and install. Okay, now that Xcode's installed, I'm going to go ahead and open it via Launchpad. Read this license. I've already read it. Click agree if you agree. Then type in your user password. I'm not going to click any of these. This isn't allowed in X281 because it's generative AI. Then I'm going to proceed. Okay, I'm going to click continue on this. Then create a new project. Then it'll start you on multi-platform probably. Click macOS, then command line tool. Stuff's already pre-filled for me here, but I would say P0 statistics is a good product name because we're going to be working on the X281 P0. Then for organization identifier, it doesn't matter for this class, but I'm just going to use my unique name. Then I'm going to click next. Then importantly, uncheck create Git repository on my Mac. Then this file picker might start you off in like somewhere like downloads, documents, desktop. What you can do is just click one of these, desktop, documents, or downloads. Click up here, click your username, then double click X281. Then it'll open this menu And what we can do is sort of fix the organization problem that's in here. So you can basically drag main.cpp out of this P0 statistics folder, then delete this folder. You can also delete products. Then right click main and click show in Finder. And you can see your files here. You can also view it with the command line. Now I'm going to demonstrate how to make a file. So just right click here, that new empty file. I'm going to call it stats.cpp, for example. And there you go. But usually in XCode, for the most part, you're going to be downloading project files before you create new files. So you'll start off like this. Then I'm going to click this triple hamburger menu, then starter and sample files. Then I'll click this with 2 fingers, copy link. I'll go to terminal. And I'm going to do cd to change directories. That means like move folders to x281. I just basically typed EEC, then hit tab for autocomplete. Then P0-statistics. Then I type ls to make sure this is the right folder. Then I'm going to use wget, then paste the link. That's going to download this link. Then tar xvf and the file name to extract it. Then I'm going to move. So if you look, basically this has created another folder called P0-statistics, and we don't want that. So I'm going to move all of those files to the main directory like this. So this says move everything within this inner P0-statistics folder to the main P0-statistics folder, sort of like we did when we deleted the folder earlier. Then I'm going to go ahead and delete the old P0-statistics folder as well as the starter files. Now I'm going to right click P0-statistics, click add files to P0-statistics. I'm going to click all of our extracted project folders or project files. Click add. I'm going to uncheck this target, then click finish. Then I'm going to delete these files that we don't really need. I'm going to move to trash. Then you'll see this is our main P0 file. Then I'm going to go ahead and make sure we only have the necessary targets to build with, because having multiple main functions and compiling your code will cause it to not compile. So I'm going to click P0-statistics, then build phases. In this case, I'm going to click compile sources, then this plus, then project0.cpp. So in future projects, you'll have more than just one CPP file usually, not always, but usually. Their tips are include all the CPP files used by your makefile. So you could run like make debug, for example, and it will run the debug compiler command. And you can just say, oh, well, they use main.cpp, stats.cpp, and library.cpp. So let's use all of those. Another thing is, first include your main file, and then anytime you're using one of your own header files, add the corresponding source file. Now we're going to configure Xcode to run the executable in the directory containing our input files. This will be important and will cause mistakes if you don't do it. So what we're going to do is use the menu because it's simpler. Product, scheme, edit scheme. Product, scheme, edit scheme. Then under run options, we're going to change the working directory to P0-statistics. Then I'm going to close this. Then we can click run to compile and run. And no mode was specified. That's because we didn't specify a mode. You can see that right here. Now we're going to enable address and undefined behavior sanitizers. These will help you catch mistakes that are usually not so easy to catch. So same thing, product, scheme, edit scheme. Then here under diagnostics, we're going to enable address sanitizer and undefined behavior sanitizer. We're also going to click detect use of stack after return. Then click close. Then we can run again and everything should still work. You can ignore this malloc nano zone abandon blah blah blah, doesn't matter. Now we're going to add a command line argument for the mode so that we can get away from this no mode specify error. So same thing with editing the scheme. We're going to go to product, scheme, edit scheme. Then under arguments, I'm going to click plus, and I'm going to say -- mode reserve. Okay, then click close. Then I'm going to click plus to run again, or sorry, the play button. And it's saying this mode's invalid. That's actually because I didn't set up the long options as intended. For the purposes of this video, I won't be setting those up, but your code will work after doing that. One more thing we're going to need to do is set up input redirection. So it's a little bit tedious, unfortunately, but it's just what has to be done. We're going to download a header file written by staff, include it, and then add one line of code other than that to get it to work. You'll already have this link and the command to download it. Run terminal, go to our folder, then download it with wget, add it to the project like we did the other files. Then include it, doesn't really matter where. Then I would just say first line of main. I mean, you could do it after this or before this, but I would say first line of main just so you don't forget. XCode redirect, argc, argv. And now input redirection will work as usual. You can add it just like a regular command line argument. So if we go product, scheme, edit scheme, options, or sorry, arguments, and then do like abc input.txt, abc output.txt, that will do input and output redirection. Next, I'm going to demonstrate debugging. So for the purposes of this, I'm going to use the help command. That's something we programmed as part of this project. It's not built in. So you see if we use -h, it's going to go to print help. Now, because we haven't set up the command line arguments for project 0, it's not going to be able to detect this H or M case. So I'm just going to put it here into default. And here print help actually takes in an argument. So that's going to be *argv. And put that there, and then I'm going to run again. But here I'm going to click line 96, and that'll put a breakpoint. So what that means is that right before that line's about to be executed, Xcode will stop and let us inspect the state of the program. And click the play button. It's going to reach here because, again, we haven't set up command line handling, so it's all going to go to this default case. Then we can see various things like, okay, mode is k none, because if we look at options, that's the default mode, and we haven't set any yet. Now, I could do this step over to go to this C error line, but instead of that, I actually want to look inside this print help function. So what I'm going to do is click this step into button. And that's going to jump inside print help. Now I can step line by line if I want, so that'll print usage. Then, I could maybe look at what's happening. Then I'll print the next line, next line, next line. And then to break out of print help, since I'm at the last line here, I could either click step over, or because I'm inside the function, I can click step out. That's going to bring me back here. I can click step forward to see error. Okay, then exit one, which is going to terminate my program. Another way you can use the debugger, so I'm going to restart it, is you can actually hover over a variable to inspect its value. In this case, argv is a char ***, so that's a array of C strings. And you can see here that this is long and drawn out, but really it's the path to our program. Then one more helpful thing here is the continue button. So that says go either until the next breakpoint or the program closes. So if I put another breakpoint, this exit, and click continue, you'll see it ran print help, it ran C error, and then right before running exit, it stopped. If we click continue again, the program will terminate. Now, importantly, make sure you remove this print help. And that's all for the Xcode setup tutorial. Thank you for watching.